The achievements of African Americans have made a tremendous impact on the valley, Youngstown included. First News reporter Cameron O'Brien shares stories from the department's first black police chief and one of the first black women to achieve the rank of detective sergeant.
This moment of hidden history is sponsored by attorney Elizabeth Bernard, Key Bank, and your local Toyota dealer.
Several black officers worked for the Youngstown Police Department in the 1970s, but they weren't welcomed by everyone on the force.
You would walk into the elevator and literally they would just turn their back on you. They would actually face the wall.
So Robert Bush and other black officers in the department founded the Black Knights Police Association. It was their way of fighting racism on the job.
Study, get promoted, start pressing for things like more police officers, minorities on the job.
The Black Knights recruited Delphine Baldwin Casey to the department in 1978. She tells me being black on the force was hard, but being female was harder. Male officers tested her limits.
Homicides and gory scenes that I saw in my first year that you would have to be on the job actually 5 years to see.
Toxic attitudes towards women in the department and the community upset Baldwin Casey. She created the Family Services Investigation Unit. They dealt with domestic violence.
We got a call and the man said he beat his wife because she spent too much money. My partner would say, well, I agree, I would have done the same thing. And so my fight was, now I have to protect them from being abused by the judicial system, starting with the police.
In 2004, the department had another first, a black chief. It's the last part of that title that Robert Bush wore most proudly.
I never took the position of being the black chief. I had to take the position of being a chief of the department.
Baldwin Casey hopes all young officers take time to learn about the department's past so that Youngstown can continue to move forward.
If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it.
In Youngstown, Cameron O'Brien, WKBN 27 First News.
Detective Sergeant Baldwin Casey and Chief Bush say there's still progress to be made in the department. Youngstown has never seen a black female chief or a high-ranking commanding officer. They hope that changes soon.